Hey guys, welcome back. So it wasn't as much of an eventful week as it should have been, right? Given the economic events that took place last week, we pretty much haven't really gone anywhere. I mean, apart from the fact that, we tried to break out, we held this as support, and now again, we're still kind of, as you can see here, on the upper bounds of our side. I mean, not our side, upper bounds of supply, right? This 4180 level has still been eluding us. But yeah, I mean, to be honest, like the ball is in the court of the Bulls, right? If they fumble, then obviously, I mean, the same levels that I've told you last week still are in existence. They did not fumble last week. I mean, all the bad news was like, absorbed, and demand level at 4100 still held. So, I mean, as discussed last week, right? The purple, a break of 4180 will take us to 4320, but we still have not broken that 4180, right? And the bears would obviously need to break 4100 to take it down to, 3900 and even 3850. Neither of both have been broken, though the bulls are much closer to breaking out than the bears are. So yeah, same levels discussed last week still kind of exist, right? And the dollar, I mean, it broke demand, but it did kind of have that recovery I was talking about. So I mean, till dollar breaks this downtrend channel, right? The one at 102, I mean, there's nothing really to see here because as you can see here, it's just doing the pattern that it's been doing, right, since March. So I mean, if it bounces to the top and sells off, could be completely, plausible. So yeah, I'm still watching the dollar to see if this breaks out and if the ES, can break over 4180, then I would be very interested in a short-term short. But yeah, till now there's no break on either of the levels, right? Let's kind of look at the wicks to see if we have any clues. We discussed that this 18 level was very important, right? So again, here, right, what is the market telling us? The market is telling us that, bulls are ready to, kind of have a short-term rally. But again, as I pointed out last week, right, we do have a trend line holding as support in this region. So I mean, 18 was a rough estimate. I still don't consider 17.75 a break. But yeah, I'm definitely like, you can see right here, we sold off, but we've still bounced, right? If the wicks, right, can break the previous low at 17, then as mentioned last time, till 14, there's no resistance, right? And then the next level down is 12. So yeah, here, VIX are, I mean, bulls are doing pretty well, right? Market bearish kind of sucking. But yeah, again, this is very choppy. Can easily just be a fake breakdown and have a massive bounce. So still no specific clue per se, right? We go to QQQ and you can kind of see that we have not actually broken out of this trend line. Once my chart loads, right, you'll be able to see what I'm talking about, right? You can see this slight move, but yeah, as you can see here, this pretty much has still been in a steady side chop, right? And the Qs, unlike SPY, right, they did not break the previous high. So, I mean, it is, right? If I go to the smaller time frame on QQQ, you'll kind of be able to see that this was a pennant, right? We broke out of it, we bounced, but we're still not, this prior high at 320 is a pretty important level, right? Till we break over 320 again, like 4180 is on ES, right? I'd say this 320 is a very important psychological level on the Qs to break above, right? Because as you can see in the past, it has done this, but it's gone back to come down to the bottom of the channel. So the Qs, again, could be at very high risk to, like fail this 320, come back to the bottom of this channel, right? Where's this channel? It doesn't have support down till 303, right? Come back to the bottom of this channel before it bounces. So again, 320 is kind of the level to break above. Otherwise, I mean, I'm still, on the edge of my seat because of all the factors that I mentioned. So yeah, let's kind of see whether we actually are able to get a clean break on the ES and Qs. But yeah, I mean, some other indexes that we discussed last week, right? Like IWM have also not broken out. All we've pretty much done, right? I'm sorry, my Wi-Fi is just being so slow today. Yeah, let's go to IWM. Yeah, and as you can see here, right, I'm not sure if I discussed this with you guys or in the Zoom call, but as you can see here, this level at 179 is so important. And all we've done is rally back up to it, right? You can see last week itself, right, we rallied to it 3 times, and we've still not been able to break above. That's the reason I'm not super bullish, right? You guys know that I've had this 430 target ever since we've been at 390, and it's just like 380, not even 390, but it's just we've had no clean break, which is why I've kind of had to look at alternative paths in the market, right? Which could have a much higher probability of playing out. So yeah, I mean, it is very clear, right? If it can get it, let's say 180, right? If it can break above 180, then IWM, right, till 191, there is no resistance, right? Obviously, it's not going to go that high. Sorry, I wanted to draw it to the supply zone. But yeah, this is kind of the path, right? This is kind of the path you'd be looking at if you're bullish. But yeah, I mean, there has been no clean break, right? Which, again, leads me to be very, very cautious. All right. I went through that. Let's go through the yields. We finished the dollar. We finished the wicks. And yields, again, this is the pennant, right? And yields, as you can see here, we've actually broken out of the pennant. So again, it's just come out, right? You can see 3 times it's had a failed breakout. So we would have to kind of keep an eye, right? I would say if it can break over 3.6, then it probably could rally up to 4%. Otherwise, a false breakout will bring it down to 2.7%. All right, let's look at this week's watch list now. The first one I have is actually GBTC. And the reason for that is I think Bitcoin might have a pullback this week. It is pretty extended, right? You can see this upward trend line is acting as a resistance level. So that is something I'm interested to see, right? I want to see if GBTC, right, can break below the $17 level. So we can come back down to 15, and even, like $12 is possible. And the reason for that, as I mentioned, is just a proxy off of Bitcoin. And Bitcoin, again, I mean, if I go to the bigger time frame, you'll be able to see that this trend line is actually a long-term support trend line all the way from 2013, and we've pretty much just rallied to resistance. So I mean, generally what tends to happen is a pullback, right? How deep or how immense the pullback is to be seen. So that's kind of what I'm betting on, right? The next one I have is ROKU. And again, the reason for that is if I go to the weekly chart, can you see how we've just kind of been stuck from 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, right? Not perfect inside weeks, right? Some have been outside weeks, but we have been pretty stuck in this range, right? So usually when something is stuck in a very long range, as you can see here, right, once a range is broken, it tends to have a massive move. So yeah, again, over 67, right, can have a very bullish move to 83. Under the support level at 60, ROKU will, come down to 52 and 49, right? So yeah, keep an eye on ROKU because of the way it's stuck, could have an explosive move. And pins, again, I mean, though this choppy nature is not bullish, right? If I go to the monthly chart of pins, you'll be able to see that. Can you see how, like, this level, right, about 26.5-ish, right, has, you can see we've gone sideways for 4 months, had a failed breakout the 5th month. Now we broke out, and now we're kind of just sideways. So I'd say if pins can break over 29.2, then I think it could be in, right, for the next couple of weeks. Then pins would get really bullish. I know it has earnings coming up end of April only. So, I mean, it wouldn't be surprising if pins doesn't break out just yet, right? It comes down to like 22, 23, and then has a big move. But like, I mean, keep an eye on it, right? It's consolidated, gone sideways, and now if it breaks resistance, and you can see this is the downward EMA, and this is again the monthly chart, right? You can see if I go to the weekly chart how long we've just kind of been stuck in a range. So that's why I'm keeping an eye on pins, right? If and when it breaks 29.2, we'll have a nice move to the upside. All right, let's look at the last one for this week. And I actually have NIO, and the reason for that is, again, though I could see it, right? I could see it coming down to the bottom of this channel. Something that, keeps me interested right, on NIO is that, again, this is more has to do with fib retracements. We can kind of see that we've pretty much, right, we've pretty much bounced close to the 1.618 level, right? So bouncing between these two levels generally, right, generally implies this could be an ABC, which means it has an upward motion left. So yeah, I mean, I would personally, right? I would personally wait, right? The break over this 9.7 should probably take it to 10.3, but if it can break, you can see this is the resistance line. If it can break over this 10.5 level, right, that would be a better swing level. For now, I think, it could trade up, right? Have a 10% move to the trend line, but would ideally need to break over this 10.5, and then it would probably have a much larger move back up to the top of this channel. So yeah, this is why I have NIO on the 6 watch list. Thank you so much. Have a great day.